everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Claudia, the Organized Homemaker, here in my Georgia 7B 8A garden. Today we're going to be doing a haul video, and it's going to be a pretty big haul because I got a lot of plants to add to the garden, and most of these plants were gifts. They were gifts, or I won a sweepstake. And so I am so excited to share with you all the new color and perennial loving plants that I'm adding to the garden. Now, before we get further into the video, let me share a couple of tips that works for me and may also work for you in your garden. The first thing I do is I keep a running list of plants that I want to buy for my garden. Now, yes, the list is long. I also have a list of roses and a list of irises, since those are the plants that seems to be at the top of my list at the moment. I'm in love with those, right? So I have a list of irises, a list of roses, and a list of plants that I want to buy. And on that plants list, I've got it broken down into perennials and trees and shrubs. As I buy something, I check it off. But every year at the start of the year, I make a master list of what's driving the garden for that year. Last fall, I took an inventory and realized that there was an area in the garden that lacked a contrasting color later on in the year as far as foliage is concerned. So I wanted something burgundy to add to that area of the garden, so I added the desire to get a smoke tree. I have one already, but I wanted one in that particular bed. So I moved that to my list this year. I also knew that I wanted some more perennials to get me all season color. And so I had Russian sage, I had regular sage, I had caramel heuchera, and a few other things on that list that I did go ahead and get while I was purchasing or receiving plants as gifts. Okay, so that's how my mind works. So now I can go back to my list for the year, check, 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 check. And when I go out shopping or when I'm offered a plant, I can say, I would prefer this to this because this is what my list is for the year. So that drives the garden. Without further ado, let me show you the first plant. The first plant, I purchased 3 things from Monrovia.com. And the reason why I purchased 3 things from Monrovia.com is one of my followers on Instagram gave me a gift card for my birthday. And I've been saving it to use, and I recently pulled the trigger and went ahead and got this. It's called the Royal Purple Smoke Tree. It is a beautiful color, and then I'll insert a picture of what it looks like in full bloom. This plant was bought from Monrovia.com, and they sent it to my local Pike's nurseries, because when you buy on Monrovia.com, they ship it to their closest participating nursery and you can pick it up. Most Lowe's participate, so if you live near where there's a Lowe's, you can order there and ship there. So I'm looking forward to having this in the garden. Now this grows 15 feet tall and 12 feet wide. And it is hardy from zones 4 to 10. So this is a tree that works well for most of the United States, and it could be a welcome addition. It's considered a small size tree because a tree that grows 12 foot tall is not that big. So here we go. The next thing that I got from Monrovia.com are these salvias, and they are called Ignition Fuchsia Salvia. Now, the reason I chose this type of salvia is because the hummingbirds like it. They like this type of bloom in order to stick their little beaks in. And so I shop primarily for my pollinators and my hummingbirds. This one will go in the sensory garden that's right here. Tour is coming soon, and explanation of what a sensory garden is. So this one looks a little rough, but I hurt myself again, y'all. I tore my meniscus last year and I re-injured myself in February, and I've been kind of pushing through. But the other day my body said, no ma'am, so I've had to be taking it easy. So all these plants are being maintained by me watering or rain falling, but I'm ready now to start planting and getting them in the ground. So I have 2 of these and the smoke tree that came from Monrovia.com. These are going in the sensory garden. The smoke tree is going in the front border. The next thing is I got some plants from Great Garden Plants to try out in my garden. Great Garden Plants is a subsidiary of Proven Winners, and so these are Proven Winners plants that I got to trial in my garden. The first thing that I got were these Veronicas. They look like this. And the thing is, I got the purple, and this is the pink. Now these plants, you can see they're springing back and doing really well. They got delayed in shipping by FedEx. Great Garden Plants offered to replace them, but y'all, they're healthy. These brown leaves here will fall off, and in no time at all, they'll green up, because I've planted some, and I'll insert some footage to show you what that looked like, and they're fine. So I told them, don't worry about it. If any of them die, I'll tell you about it, and then, we'll go from there. They have a nice warranty that allows you to have replacements if need be. Now I want you to look at this root system. This all happened since I've had it. So just to tell you, it's ready to get out the pot and get in the ground. These grow from 14 to 16 inches tall and 18 inches wide, okay? And it is hardy from zones 4 to zone 8. And since I'm in 8A, 7B, this is still a perfect plant for me. So I'm looking forward to having these in the garden. I'm gonna actually get these in the ground as soon as I'm done filming this video so that they can continue to grow on and get nice and lush for me. So these are called Magic Show Pink Potion. And then I got the Magic Show Ever After, which is the blue, and they are beautiful as well. Also from Proven Winners, or from Great Garden Plants, were these Petticoat Peach Geums. Now these are tiny plants in that they don't get very tall. They are mounding plants. They get 12 inches tall to 20 inches wide. So they spread. So these are front of the border plants. That'll give me a nice green, and look at the bloom. Peachy, yellowy tones right to the front of the garden. So I'll have these to the front, and I'm looking forward. I did end up getting 6 of these. After my Great Garden plants were delivered, I won a giveaway. I never win anything, but I won a giveaway on Instagram from SurfSafe, which is a local landscaping company that services the greater Atlanta area. So let me show you some of what I got, okay? One of the first things I got was Russian sage. This is a 1-gallon pot. I got 3 of these. This blooms a pretty bluish purple bloom, and it's a pollinator magnet, hence why I chose it. I also got this Carmel Heuchera, and there's about 5 plants in each pot. It's a gallon-sized pot, and I have a total of 3 of these. So I'm going to divide these and put them along the front border in order for them to fill out and over time create that impact that I'm looking for. I'll eventually have them all over the garden, but we're gonna start with just the front border. Isn't the color on this stunning? Yeah, I cannot wait. Also from Surfscape is I got some echinacea. But what I find in my garden, the echinaceas that do well is wildberry, powwow wildberry and powwow white, as well as Echinacea purpurea. Now, Echinacea purpurea is the common purple echinacea that's native. And I got 6 of these to add to the front border to give me a taller spike, a lot of blooms in the late summer months. These are also great to leave up as seed heads in the winter months for our birds. And so I wanted to add more of these. Now, over time, I'll be able to divide these and put them around the yard, which is what I have done with the one other Echinacea purpurea that I had. And now out of that one, I have 6. So over time, dividing your perennials is a good way to grow your garden. So with these 6, I'll be able to divide and 6 at a time and spread them around. So I'm looking forward to having more of these in the garden. The last plant that I got from SurfSafe were these meadow sages. This meadow sage, I'll put all the specifics on the screen for you in an infographic. So the meadow sage came in a gallon. It is the blue marble variety. Let me show you. See that pretty bloom. So pollinators also love this, the bees and the butterflies, and that's why I'm adding these. This is going to go in the front border as well, behind the heucheras, but in front of the echinacea as a nice pollinator attracting plant. So besides the giveaway, the gift cards, and the plants that I was sent by Great Garden Plants, I also was given a couple of plants by great master gardeners in my master gardener group. The first one is this pot full of heirloom chrysanthemums. These came from Three Porch Farms, which is a great company that sells the heirloom mums. Don't they look healthy? So I'm looking forward to getting these in the ground. I may actually cut these back and put the pinching in a pot to see if I can get them to also grow. Okay, so she was not sure what varieties they were, so I will look forward to having them grow this year, and then afterwards I'll be able to figure out which varieties I have here. No plant haul would be complete without a rose. This is my birthday rose from my youngest. And I'm going to tell you all, you know I love me some heirloom roses. I am an heirloom rose ambassador. If you're ever looking to buy a rose, my discount code is below. But one of the reasons I love heirloom roses is their customer service. They had some issues this winter with some of their roses, and this particular type was one of them. So they wrote my youngest and told her that they were not going to be able to fulfill my birthday wishes if they could refund her, and they did. And then she told me, so I contacted them and said, would you know when it's going to be in? It was supposed to be a birthday present, and I don't know if I should tell her to just wait and buy the same one or just go ahead and order a different rose. They said, you know what, let us check to see if we have just one. Since it's a birthday present, let's see if we have just one that we can send you. Y'all, look at this rose. It's an own root rose, which means, you know, it'll grow always from the root the same way. Look how healthy this thing is. And then they told her, don't worry about it. Be still my heart, right? So I'm very excited for this. I can't wait to plant it. This is going in the driveway garden, and I'll include, as with all these, the info on this rose. A couple weeks ago, I did a tour of an old estate, and I was admiring all the irises at this estate. Well, a couple of our master gardeners volunteer at this estate, and they were thinning their irises, and look what they brought for me, because, you know, they know that I'm iris obsessed. Look. Now I'm going to give some to a couple friends of mine, but the rest of these I'm going to get planted soon in my personal garden. These are called Florentine iris. It's a light lilac color, and I'll insert a picture of what they look like, but I cannot wait to get them in my garden. Could you believe that I was commenting on the fact that I would love to add these to the garden, and now I got a bag full. The last plants that are going to be talked about are plants that I got at Pike's. Pike's put together a little gift basket for me, and Pike's Nursery, that is. And in this plant, in this gift basket, it really was a terracotta pot, a nice sized terracotta pot, were several plants, fertilizer, and a bunch of other things. And I'm going to show you the plants because I am going to go ahead and plant them up as a pot and put that pot in front of my greenhouse on the table up there. The first plant is this penta. It's a red penta, and guess what? Hummingbirds and butterflies love this. A lantana is called Little Lucky, and it blooms white. Again, pollinators love this plant. Look at this deep purple black petunia, and it's going to make a nice trailing plant. And then I think I'm going to add some creeping Jenny for contrast, that chartreuse color. And I think this pot will be pretty. And then lastly, they added this kaffir. Isn't it pretty? It's called Sweet Talk Red. So I feel like this pop of color is needed all the way up there by the greenhouse. And I'm going to put this pot together and hopefully be able to include a picture of what the pot looks like when I'm done. Thank you so much for joining me today for my latest plant haul. If you've enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing. As always, happy gardening.